Hey everybody, I'm going to show you a really quick way to figure out any polyrhythm mathematically and really quickly. I'm going to skip some of the more common ones like 2 against 3 and 3 against 4 because I'm going to assume that there's a ton of videos on those out there already. But let's get into something that's maybe a little more interesting like 5 against 4. So what you want to do first is just figure out whatever the least common multiple of 5 and 4 is. That's the number that's the smallest number that both of them divide into evenly, so that's 20. And what we're going to do is just make 20 little marks here. So you can either do 4 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 4. I'll kind of show you the difference between the two. I'm going to start with 5 groups of 4, like this. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the 5 to be the downbeat of each of these groups, like this. All right. And then what we're going to do for the 4 is we're going to split up these 20s into fourths. So every 5 of these we're going to put a note here. So this is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next one goes here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one goes here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next one goes here. And then that's going to be it. That's going to be our whole sequence. So that's it. That's our 5 against 4 pattern right there. I'm going to drop these a little bit so it's a little easier to see. All right, so what you can do is think about these as like 16th notes maybe. All right, and the reason I did this in 5 groups of 4 is because it's easy to think about the 4 subdivision. So I'm going to take my metronome. I'm going to put it on 5, 4, and subdivisions of 16th notes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I just have to play the subdivision. That's it. That's my 5 against 4 right there. And then of course you eventually want to wean yourself off of the metronome, spend some time in the practice room. And then you can start to get a little bit of intuition for it. Now I mentioned we could also do this as 4 groups of 5. So we can make our 5lets here. You would do the same process, except for now it's a little more difficult because you have to subdivide in 5s. But you would do it very similarly. You would put the 4 as the first note of each of these 5lets, and then you would take the 20 notes total and divide them by 5 to get the 5 on top of there. So that 20 divided by 5 is 4. So every 4 notes we're going to have our 5 on here. So we get that one, and then we're going to go to this one, and then we're going to go to this one, and then we're going to go to this one. Now you could do it that way, but now you just have to think of subdivisions of 5, which is maybe a little more difficult. I would choose the easier subdivision in order to get it under your hands, but that's certainly another way that you could do it. All right, let's look at one that has like a 3 in there, so maybe we want to do like a 5 versus 3. All right, same deal. I'm going to be looking at 15 as my common multiple. So I can either do this in 3 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 3. It's easier to subdivide 3s, so I'm going to do 5 groups of 3s to get started here. So I'm going to do triplets. All right, and I'm going to make the 5. I'm going to make the 5 the downbeat of each of my triplets. All right, and now I need to count. I need to do 15 divided by 3 to get the 3. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. So every 5 notes, I'm going to add my blue marker here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to put one here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One goes right here. And then that should be all of them. And you can double check to make sure that there's the same amount of notes for each one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So they're split up evenly. All right, so I'm just going to get my metronome on. We're going to do subdivisions of 3. We're going to do it in 5/4. I brought my blocks out so you could see them a little better. The red block is going to correspond with the red note and the blue block with the blue note. So I'm thinking in 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I can speed it up a little bit. There you go. Then you spend a lot of time with that in the practice room. Eventually get the met off of it, take the subdivisions out first, then get the met off of it, and then try to understand it intuitively so then you can play it faster depending on whatever the speed is that you're playing. All right, let's try one more. Let's try 7 against 3. So I have a 7 to 3. So now I've got a multiple of 21. So again, I could do 3 groups of 7. I don't really feel comfortable counting 7lets really easily, but I do feel really comfortable counting triplets. So I'm going to do 7 groups of 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to make, again, the 7 is going to be the downbeat. All right, so there's my 7 red notes. And then we need to make the 3s. So there's going to be every 7 notes we're going to have we're going to make a blue mark because 7 times 3 is 21. So we got first note here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the second note is going to go here. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next note's going to go here, and that should be all 3. Again, we can double check just by counting the notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes there. So we know that they're spaced out evenly because there's the same amount of notes between all of the blue dots. All right, and again, just take your metronome. Now I'm going to switch it over to 7/4 instead of 5/4 like we were before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, and again, just get in the practice room, shed it a little bit, get the tempo up, try to get to where it feels natural and intuitive. Hopefully that's helpful. You can do any polyrhythm like this. Obviously, if you start getting into something like 7 versus 5, you're going to have to count in some 5lets because you're going to either do 7 groups of 5 or 5 groups of 7. So once once you start getting more complicated, they can be a little trickier, but you can always use this same method to at least start working on it slow, figure out the subdivisions you need to do on your metronome, and then start out slow, keep working it up as fast as you need to fit into the music that you're playing.